Good evening and happy Saturday, everyone. Kindall Tyson here from Aspire Counseling and Wellness Center, coming to you with our latest Q&A with Kindall, responding to questions from the Lady Raiders at Taft High School. This has been a really busy week, so I do apologize for not being able to post on Wednesday and Friday. It's just been really packed with great opportunities to connect and grow my business. And take care of myself, so I wanted to make sure that I got in another video before the end of this week. And this next series of questions I love, right? I hear these often from adolescents that I work with, adults too. And here we go. Oh, and I have to say, my little caveat, yes, I am a licensed psychotherapist. I've been doing this work for a very long time. I'm a professional school counselor, and while I do provide ethical, culturally responsive therapy, this response is not meant to be a substitute for therapeutic support. If you find yourself in need of some additional mental health support, please reach out to me. You can call us at 832-345-9175. Send us an email at contact@aspirecounselingworld.com or visit the website and put in a request if you have questions or in need of therapy. So, got to do that. So here we are with the questions. How to not stress about school, how to calm myself down in stressful situations, and how to know when I need to take a break. All very, very important things for student athletes to know, right? So we'll start with the first one, how to not stress over school. I'll start by saying that stress is inevitable. So it's accepting that. It is accepting that you are going to face stressful moments. You are going to face stressful moments that you can control. You're going to face stressful moments that are outside of your locus of control. And there has to be a level of acceptance of both. And what's going to be helpful is recognizing your role that you play in the stress that you experience. A lot of times when I'm working with adolescents, they find themselves stressed about school as it relates to lack of a completion of homework or struggling in a teacher's class, maybe because there's some interpersonal conflict, or maybe not acquiring the grades that they or their parents or family members expect of them. And then I always, ask, as I validate their experience, it's important to validate before you offer anything. And parents that are watching this, I need you to understand that validation does not mean that you accept or agree. It just means that you are joining in with them. You understand, you're trying your best to understand their perspective and where they're coming from, whether it makes sense to you or not. I try not to say I understand, because I don't. I was a teenager once, I'm not a teenager now. So I say, I recognize that, and I appreciate you telling me that, or it sounds as if, or this was a really difficult thing for you, and I appreciate you trusting me enough to let me know that. So that's for the parents. And so back to the stressing about school, I want to ask you to identify, first off, what's your best hope? What's your best hope for school, right? Is your best hope to make straight A's? Is your best hope to show up every day? Is your best hope to participate in class? Identify what is your best hope for school overall, and probably for each class that you are in, especially the ones that you don't necessarily favor. Like, that's me and math. Baby, getting there every day on time and participate every day was gonna be, that's my best hope. And then identifying what are the things that really stress you out as it relates to school. I used to get really bad test anxiety, so I knew that there were certain things that I had to do. Number one, be prepared. And then creating an action plan for the things that you recognize are triggers for you and stressors for you as it relates to school. And asking for help is going to be paramount. You are not meant to do any of these things alone. As a student, your job is to learn how to advocate for yourself in a healthy and respectful way, because people cannot support you when they don't know that you're struggling, right? So getting out of denial, and seeking support prior to your issue ballooning into something bigger. I work with a lot of kids or students that they sit and stew in a situation for so long that it is amplified to something that is more challenging and harder to manage, when maybe a month prior, a few weeks prior, they could have reached out for more support and it wouldn't have been as seem as insurmountable, right? So be proactive, right? Identify what you're stressed about, figure out a plan on how to address it, and seek support, right? We engage in healthy coping. So this takes us to the next part of the question: how to calm myself down in stressful situations. There's a technique that I like to use. It's called the RAIN technique. The R is recognize, the A is allow or assess, the I is investigate, the N is nurture or non-identify. And so that helps. That's a mindful technique to help you to assess, how you're feeling. What are the things, the thoughts, the processes, bodily sensations coming up for you in these moments, and how do you respond to them in a healthy way? So identifying, I feel, what is the emotion that you notice that you're experiencing, identifying possibly where is it coming from. I do not ask people to say, why do I feel this? Well, you do, right? You feel it. So the question is, what does that mean? And what do you want to do about it, right? It's important to sit with the emotions that come up for you instead of trying to make yourself so busy that you're not paying attention to them, or distracting yourself all the time, or going to sleep. That is the one thing I hear teenagers talk about all the time. Well, I went to sleep. Okay, but you woke up. I get that. You woke up and the issue was still there. How did you handle it? Sleep cannot be the only thing you do, right, when you're stressed. So practicing healthy coping skills. Deep breathing is important. I love the 4-7-8 breathing technique, or the box breathing technique. I like to do EFT tapping, where you're finding a space in your body to tap as you are engaging in breathing, or even reciting affirmations. This is just one type of tapping. EFT tapping deals with different pressure points in your body. Practicing addressing your cognitive distortions. So being able to use cognitive fusion and be more observant of your feelings instead of overwhelmed by them. So instead of I am a failure, it is I notice that I feel like a failure. I notice that I keep having the thought that I'm failing. And challenging your thinking, challenging your irrational, anxious, and negative thoughts. It's really important. Using your 3 states of mind, your identifying the